Well, I'm preparing to record for tonight's Bible study and get ready for those who are unable to gather with us. And part of my preparation is to read from Luther's works, and this in particular from the Gospel of John, the 4th chapter. And I'm not sure what it means, but actually in this particular section of Scripture I've outwritten Martin Luther. That's scary. Anyway, let me read to you what Uncle Marty, as I like to call him, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther, had to say. But the Christians who really recognize the mercy of Christ the Lord are ready to share their food and drink as the Good Samaritan woman did. At first, to be sure, she appeared obdurate, but when Christ preached so eloquently, she was converted, together with the whole city. The people opened the city gates to him, received him with joy, and showed him every kindness. He remained with them for 2 days, and they would gladly have kept him longer in their midst. Christians emulate their example. But the others will say, in conformity with their acts, I must keep all this to myself. See to it that you also acquire something for yourself. And they add, one must deprive the pastors, maliciously lame the horses, and deliver half chaff and half cockle in payment of the tax. They try to scrape everything into their own sacks, finally constraining God to send a torrent of brimstone and hellfire upon them, and to have Brother Lancenquet come and put in his spear into the heart, and wrest their tailors from them. The example of the Samaritans who conducted Christ into their city should put us to shame. Our text informs us that their city was under the interdict, that this was an obstacle for them which we do not have to cope with. The Lord praises them highly, and the Gospel tells us that he sojourned there for 2 days, not just one. Sometimes we can take the example of how to behave from the Scripture stories, and I have to confess, the woman by the well is one of my favorite stories in the Gospels. Anyway, just an encouragement, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, take the emulation that helps you to have the Spirit of Christ in your heart and to live it out in the world. There always is more to the story than what we hear. And just an encouragement to you to be blessed. You are. To be encouraged in that blessing. That's what I'm trying to do here. And to live in the hope of what Christ has given you. Well, be blessed this day and be encouraged and be strengthened and go with God.